I want to get your thoughts on the Chinese investing in Africa. Sometimes they provide assistance, aid, with Russia also some military assistance, development loans, investment, military support in countries such as Mali and the CAR. What are your thoughts about these two countries partnering Africans and with loans and all that?
Well, I didn't know when the Chinese became a problem of Africa, because when I last studied history, I was told that Africa was colonized by France, Britain, Portugal, a little bit of Spain, I think also, Spain something, which is the other one. These were the colonial powers. And they did a lot of bad things, bad things, slave trade here. So much so that we had to fight them and chase them. As we were doing that, by 1900, the whole of Africa had been colonized by those people. But the good luck for Africa, and they were planning, I don't know what they were planning, because in other places where they colonized, the people were totally displaced. Like if you look at Latin America, the indigenous people either are not there, or if they are there, they are in a bad situation. In the whole of Latin America, the Indians, even the USA, the Red Indians, where are they? You call them the First Nation, that's what I hear you calling them. Where are they? So when they had taken over Africa by 1900, we don't know what would have happened, but fortunately, the greed among them caused them to fight among themselves. The old imperialist powers, Britain and France and even Holland, that little Holland also was a colonial power. The fighting with Germany and Japan, which were new aspiring imperialist powers. So that First World War weakened them, the fight among themselves. Fighting over who? Over us. Because you remember in 1884, Germany got united in 1871 after the Franco-Prussian War of 1870. So when Germany got united, because Germany was not one country until that time, it was 39 kingdoms. So when it got united, it became strong. But it became strong when much of the world had been colonized by Britain and France and so on. So Germany said, no, we need colonies also. You people have cheated us. So they say, oh, please, Bismarck, please don't start a war. Don't start a war. You call a conference in Berlin. So Bismarck called a conference in 1884, 1885. So, okay, Bismarck, we'll give you Tanganyika, we'll give you Rwanda, we'll give you Burundi, we'll give you Namibia, we'll give you Togo. So please, have we not shared well? Yeah. Oh, okay. I think even Bismarck may have belched when you eat and and the air comes out. But but within Germany, other groups were saying no. This is not enough, including the Kaiser, the emperor, Kaiser Wilhelm II. He said, what are you talking about? You England, you take the whole of India, you take the whole of Canada, you take the whole of Australia, you take the whole of the USA, and you tell me about Tanganyika and Burundi. Rubbish. I need more. So that's how the Second World War, the First World War started. Started to over us. They were fighting over us. But the good thing is that when they were fighting, first of all, they weakened themselves. But within that fight, one of the old monarchies of Europe, Russia, was overthrown by the communists, 1917, the Bolsheviks. So when they took over Russia, straight away from the beginning, they opposed imperialism. They opposed colonialism. From the beginning, 1917. And during the Second World War, Russia played a very big role in defeating Hitler. And then in 1949, they were joined by China. China was now also taken over by communists. So again, they joined us. So, politically speaking, from 1917, from 1949, China and Russia have been on the side of the anti-colonial movement. I think these Western people need to be a bit serious. They have been on our side politically. When we defeated the colonists, we have no problem. We Africans forgive and forget. So we decided to stay together, like with us, who were with the British. We are members of the Commonwealth. We have no problem. But for somebody to say, have a problem with China, why are you dealing with China? You don't know why? China was supporting me when you were disturbing me. Have you forgotten? China has never been a problem to us. Or Russia, modern Russia. Russia actually neither. Russia made their own mistakes, which is another matter I will comment at the end. But these people have no problem with them at all. History has no problem with these people at all, historically. Do you hear that? Can you put it on the Voice of, you said what? Voice of America?
Voice of America, yes.
Yes. How can you have a problem with somebody whom you have never had a problem? And yet you have forgiven the one who actually you had a problem with. We're forgiven the 40 million, these black people in the US. How did they go there? In Brazil, all over the place, black people. We have forgiven all those. Why would anybody want us to have a problem with somebody we have never had a problem with? That's number one. But number two, now that, when we started getting independence, by 1963, only 36 African countries had got independence. There was another 20 or so in Southern Africa, where some of the groups were not willing to give independence. The Portuguese, Ian Smith, the South African whites, they didn't want to give independence. So we had to fight. African Union said we are going to fight. If you don't give independence peacefully, we shall fight. The Europeans thought it was a joke. But we started fighting. Our people started fighting in Mozambique, 1962. And who were supporting us with weapons? Russia and China and North Korea and Cuba. That's how, by 1974, the African armies defeated the Portuguese in Angola, Guinea-Bissau, Mozambique. So, this is the history of those countries. Now, with China, after they became prosperous, but even before they became prosperous, they started giving some support. For instance, they built the Tanzania-Zambia Railway. 1960s, when the economy of China was really still small, as a solidarity. Because at that time, Zambia was in trouble. It was being surrounded by the whites in Southern Africa. They wanted to strangle it. And the Chinese came and built a railroad from Dar es Salaam to northern Zambia. Now when they have become richer, they are coming here. They are investing here, they are investing there. Maybe their terms could be a bit unfair here. That's for us to analyze and reject. But we certainly cannot have a problem with them, an insoluble problem. If they give me an expensive loan, I say no. I reject it. They don't impose it on me. So, really, our Western friends, no, but there's also another point. The point is that the Western groups, because capitalism was dynamic, because it had a new input in social economic transformation. This was the understanding of the concept of profit, the difference between what you put in and what you sell at. That difference is called profit. And that's how they helped the world economies to grow, those which started with that concept. But now, and therefore entrepreneurship meant ability to have spectacles to see opportunity where it exists. But now, the Western companies, their spectacles are not working. And when the Chinese come here, they see opportunity. And I encourage them. I don't speak Chinese. I don't speak Russian. I speak English. But my English friends don't come. So when the Chinese come and they see opportunity, and I encourage them, then somebody says, the Chinese are coming to Africa. Why should they not come? If they are coming to invest, if they are coming, and especially given the history of them standing with us. We stood with China in the UN when the Western countries were blocking them from taking their seat of which they had given to the other little island called Taiwan. Incredible things. Taiwan was in the UN. We supported them. I was not in the government that time, but our elders, Mwalimu and others, supported them. So this is the history, and I think those people should really stop. And it's not bad for the world economy. It's not bad. I don't even know. I think the problem we may be having is that in the Western countries, we may not be having enough philosophers. I think we are there's a little bit of a deficit of philosophers and strategists. Because when capitalism grew and helped the economies to grow, Adam Smith was one of the very good thinkers who helped to understand the issue of what to do, what is to be done. There were other thinkers who were all sorts of ideas, the bullionists, those who believed that gold was important. There were people called physiocrats in France who believed that agriculture was important. But Adam Smith came and said, no. Division of labor, specialization is the key to human success in the economy. And the economies grew. But by 1929, the capitalism system collapsed. Why? Big production, no market. So I really I don't know with whom we can talk in the West, because you talk to these ambassadors. I don't think to tell them why do you worry about the rise of China and the rise of these other Asian countries like Indonesia, like India? Very soon you will be worried about the rise of Africa, because Africa is going to rise. What are you going to do? Why do you worry about this? Because when these people get out of poverty to affluence, it's good for business. I can now be able to buy BM computers. Is it BM, the other group, IBM, the machine-making group? Yes. Because I have money, I can now be able to buy something from the US, which I couldn't buy before because I had no money. When China was coming up, the price of oil went up, the price of cement went up, the price of steel went up, because there was a lot of construction going on in China. And even now, the price of coffee has remained high, because before China came up, the global consumption of coffee was 118 million bags. Now, I think it must be like 160, 70 million bags. It has gone up by almost 70 million bags. Why? Because Chinese now drink coffee. In the past, because they didn't have money, apparently they were only drinking tea. So why do you worry about the rise of other people out of poverty to prosperity? Are you actually working even in the interest of your own people? They need some. I don't know who leads the thinking in the West, but they need to do something. But for us, we have no problem with China, with Russia, with India, with Indonesia, with Vietnam. The more they grow, the better for business.